Hello, Wala. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us today. It's so great to see your beautiful face. We have Wala Blegay here running for Congress in Maryland's 5th Congressional District. And let's just jump right in. But how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. You know what? We have $5 million flooded in this race with APAC,
Yeah.
crypto, all of us against us. But when we're going to the doors, people are saying we see through it. And
Yeah.
we are just happy to see that.
That is wonderful. Well, let's jump right in. You've spent over 2 decades in Maryland as an attorney, a county council member, an advocate. You've been fighting for workers. You've been fighting for families and seniors. You're now running for Congress, as I just mentioned, to fight for reforms for Black maternal health outcomes, Black women's unemployment, and leadership. And just explain to us, walk us through why these issues are so important to you.
It is so important because a lot of things that happen in our community, Black women are the leaders. We are in a county. I'm in a county now that has women leadership from the state's attorney up to the county executive. So we are in leadership here in Maryland. And right now, we need to be key on our issues. We just recently did a bill about fibroids, something that hits women, especially Black women, at one of the highest rates. How do we overcome that? We're focused now on making sure that we address some of the maternal health issues. We see the disparities in our community. The problem, one of the issues when we look at door to door talking to voters and talking to people, is that we have a lot of people that are women run homes at this point, where the women are working, they're single family, they're working everything. And we just need to recognize that that's sometimes how our community is, and we need to provide support. So that's one of the reasons I'm going on the federal level, is because we have had a massive number of layoffs. And many Black women that look like us have been working in the federal government for years. That's been the steady job. Many even left the private sector to work for the federal government so that they could take care of their kids and family. And now they've been upended, laid off. And it's troubling to see. And we
Yeah.
are going to start pushing back on this issue.
Yeah, it's beyond troubling when you think about all the things that just Black women, we are in such a unique position with the things that we have to contend with. And I'm so happy to hear you just openly and outwardly uplift these very critical issues to our livelihood and to the livelihoods of our families and our communities. So I think this is in the same right vein of what we're talking about. So you've said government should work for working people. Imagine that crazy, idea. And not corporations. You focused on healthcare access, lower cost, and affordable housing at the county level. What kind of representative can Maryland's 5th look forward to from you when you're elected?
Yeah, well, we're looking focus on what's happening here. I've been a big advocate for Medicare for all. Why? At 19 years old, I went to the emergency room, got a $5,000 bill. My family, I'm a daughter of immigrants. My dad drove an ice cream truck. We did not have that type of money to fight that. So I was all into how do we change this healthcare system. I worked on the Hill on the Affordable Care Act because I wanted the public option. I wanted to make sure that we have healthcare for all. Although we chose Obamacare, we can see now that it's been botched. And right now, the main thing that we need to focus on is making sure that we push for a universal health care. And us as Black women, we need it. So this means we're going to be pushing against the insurance companies, those people who are coming in and focus on the profits for their top folks. What about us? What about the people? When we see all the money coming into this race, AI, crypto, look at our 18 to 25-year-old kids and how they're unable to get the job because of AI. We think about the $1 billion a day that's being spent from A with tied with APAC, $1 billion a day spent. What about the people? So right now we're going to focus on the people, focus on what we need to do to get us over the line. And I would just say this, we are fighting. We are fighting because corporations have bought up the Democratic Party. And this is why people are so frustrated with the party, because of what's going on. So we're going to make the change that we need to make.
Absolutely. And like I said earlier about just the craziness, right, of, our government working for working families, the folks that keeps this government and this system going with our tax dollars. The whole like premise around the left and this, these ideas being progressive, they are simply just ideas that make sense, and that they are what we deserve because we are paying into this system. And so I'm just so happy to hear you just lift that up. And just again, staying on track here, you've come from a family. You just talked about being a fighter. You come from a family of fighters. Your parents immigrated from West Africa and dedicated their lives to advocating for refugees and immigrants. How has that shaped your conversation in the community? You talked about going door to door. How is that landing with folks, and how is it landing in terms of your platform?
Well, we have already been on the ground as a council member. I live in a majority African American community, represented them, where we focus on how do we have the black middle class, but we can't have quality retail. We brought a Sprouts to Westphalia. We have focused on stopping certain development because we deserve the best. We focus on healthcare. We have some of the highest emergency room wait times in the country that we're trying to address. So it is all hands on deck on how we are going to fight for people. And we've already done that on the council level. I didn't take money from developers. I pushed on a lot of those issues. And to be honest, I was able to overcome a lot because I didn't take that money and I just didn't owe anyone. I would only owe the people. And that's what I'm telling people now. That's the type of candidate you need at this moment. This moment needs someone that is not tied to any of these different groups, but is tied to you and can only answer to you.
Amen to that. You've championed food as medicine on the county council, pushing to treat nutrition as healthcare and reduce, towards reducing chronic disease. What has this, or really why has this been a driving issue for you? And why does it matter so much right now in this moment?
Well, I would just say this. We are have the highest rates of cancer, chronic diseases, and a lot of that is tied to the food that we're eating. And I've learned that am someone that's pre-diabetic, addressing that. And what I've learned is that in some Black communities, especially minority communities, you are in food swamps where you have fast food options everywhere. So we're trying to connect with our farmers. I mean, we just passed the agro-tourism bill to promote our farmers and to promote good food, connecting that. And that's what people want. Coming up with resolutions right now. A lot of us, we're spending so much money combating chronic disease, where if we put the money in the food, it will lower our overall spend on prevention and also saving lives, because this is where we are right now.
Yeah. Well, this has been such a rich conversation, Wala. I mean, you are just so profound, and like the work that you have been doing on the ground speaks for itself. And I know that it's been guiding you and guiding people recognizing you because you've already been out there doing all the things. So we just want to end on a question that we find is very important, right? To understand, along with all the things we talked about, how are you centering joy? How are you taking care of yourself? Campaigns are a lot; they're a heavy lift, but what are you doing to make sure, right, you can keep this thing going, right? So how are you centering joy and taking care of yourself?
We are staying prayed up. I mean, I
Amen.
really am taking my faith very seriously, because this is a tough race. I mean, when you've got $5 million coming in to promote a candidate that doesn't have the interests of the people, it's stressful because you don't know what that could be another 40 years of representation. So you really want to work hard, but you have to balance, and I'm trying to balance so that I can make sure that people will see me for who I am, which is an advocate.
Amen.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much,
Thank
Wala. We
you.
appreciate you. Thank you for being a Black woman who leads, and
All right.
Godspeed.
Thank you. All right.